All right, I'm just going to do a very quick video here to show you how to smooth the weights between the two pec bones, the left and right pec bones, on a t-shirt. So I'll just get the shirt open. What I'm going to do is append it because the file is Avastar 2.8, Blender 2.8, and I can't open it in my version of Blender 2.79. So I'm just going to navigate to it, go into the t-shirt.blend, open the object, grab the t-shirt out of here and append from library. Now that also appends a bunch of custom shapes, which I usually delete. So we just hit box select over here, select all of those, right click and delete, and it appends a new avatar rig, which is fine. We'll use that for the moment. So this t-shirt has the cleavage setting set a little narrower than it needs to be. So you can see the clipping here on the body mesh. So I'll just jump over to the fitted and I'll set the breast cleavage back to default so that it fits. And then I will grab this t-shirt and go to the modifier stack and change the object avatar 001 to avatar. And then I will just delete the avatar object. Now, when you change the rig like this, and I know this isn't technically part of what you wanted, but when you change the rig, you need to always go and refresh your bind so that it works with the new rig. And if we select that rig now, we should be able to grab that breast cleavage slider and just slide it across like that. Now, this is the problem we're trying to address here. So if we just tab into edit mode, you can see when you move the breast slider, there's a lot of clipping down the center here in this sort of area. So we just delete that grease pencil, turn that off. So this is what I want to address here. So the first thing we'll do, we'll stay in edit mode, that's fine. Just drop the cleavage back to its default setting and then press the, actually we'll just do a selection by Alt, right click, selecting those middle verts, because this is all we want to affect here. So, and I will just box deselect the ones underneath and the ones above. So that's hitting the B button and then the shift button to deselect. So we've only got these ones across the middle that are affected by the cleavage slider. So when you can change the slider there, you just select the bits that you want. So we've got them selected now. Drop that back into its default value and then go into weight paint mode with the shirt. And you can see your problem here when we slide the breast cleavage over. You can see your problem area. So what I do is I set the slider to the maximum because I want it to be completely resolved here. So we go back into one, press V to go into vertex select mode. And it's the same in Blender 2.8 as it is in Blender 2.79. It's the exact same process. Go into your tool menu, and in Blender 2.8, it's the weights button at the top of the 3D scene, and you hit smooth. And then you go to the contextual menu that'll pop up down the bottom and change it to all groups. By default, it comes up as active group. So the first time you use it in a scene, you need to change it to all groups. And then you can change the iterations. I usually don't bother with iterations. I just go on smooth, press smooth a few more times until I'm happy. So if we press Alt Q here, you can see that that changes it a little bit, right? And then we press smooth again, Alt Q changes it a little bit more. So I just hit smooth, maybe 5 or 6 times, Alt Q, see how it's improved. Smooth a couple of times more, see how it's improved. So now we have compression, but we don't have overlap. So we'll just smooth a couple more times, 1, 2, 3, 4, until we like how it's compressing. And literally all you're changing here is this middle row. And what you'll notice if you look at your vertex weights, you'll notice that there are now more than 4 vertex weights here. So it kind of grabs weights from the belly area and the chest, and it sort of smooths everything in there. If you go into limit total, that actually brings it all back down to 4, and it takes the smallest influence first so that you don't lose your major influence like your left and your right pec. press Alt-Q, you can see it made absolutely no difference whatsoever to the shape. So it's just taken off those very, very tiny influences that could mess up your upload and give you a jaggy result when you get up into SL. So I will just do a very quick check here and have a look at your weight tools. Weight limit. Okay, you've got a couple of verts around here that you just need to adjust. So what I do is I go to the toolbox, vertex tools, weight limit, figure out which ones have been had more than 4 weights. And you can see here left pec and right pec. You really don't need left and right pec on this back section at all. So we can just grab that weight limit, select those vertices, go back up to the toolbox and hit limit total. And then we want to Alt-Q just to make sure that nothing changed with regards to the shape. And that's pretty much done. So we go to Avastar, we set the breast cleavage back to its default setting before we export that for Second Life. So now if we hit cleavage all the way up to the maximum, it compresses but it doesn't clip. If we go all the way down to the minimum, you can see it stretches out nicely still. So there's quite a bit more of a blend from each side. If I just jump over into object mode and put my rig into pose mode and then back into weight paint, I can select this bone. So you can see there's much more of a smooth blend here, and there's much more influence from this bone just to keep everything nice and smooth. Breast cleavage, let's turn this back up and let's push it a little bit by pushing up the breast size. So you can see it is still not clipping, even with the cleavage and the size up as you know, almost as to the extent of the sliders allowance. So that's it. I will I'll pop this in a little video on YouTube and you can go from there.